How's it going, everyone? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We are just waiting for some more people to get on, and I am trying to get something up other than my face. Hope you guys are doing all right tonight. I appreciate you guys helping me out and going a little bit early today. You know, just trying to get myself back on a normal sleep schedule. So, okay. So let me actually, that's right. This has not been playing nicely. So let me just pull up the lecture notes on here. All right. Got it. Okay, cool. Now you guys don't have to look at me anymore. What's up, Neha? Yo, Gabriel. Amir, how are you? What's up, Akash? Good to see you, bud. Sweet! You got the crew. You wrote the crew in there. Nice. Oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna real quick grab a drink of water. I did not get that beforehand. What's up? Shiba Productions, who are you? I think you've told me before. Okay, yeah. Give me like 30 seconds. Let me grab some water, and then we'll get this party started. Yes, Misbah. Yes, great question. Yeah, it's just over sensation and perception. Definitely. All right. I am back. All right, I'm here. Hello, Trey. Hello, Peyton. Okay, so let's do this. Excuse me. All right, so I'm guessing that we are ready to go. Let's do this bad boy. You can get started. Okay, so I do not. I was actually just thank you, Neha. I just drank some water, went down the wrong tube. Oh, are you guys still hearing echoing? Hold on, let me turn on. No, I don't hear any echoing. I think it's fine. And I think you're here. Are you? Do you have like two of them up or something? I don't know what to tell you. I don't hear any echoing. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if anyone else is having trouble with it. Maybe just turn it off or reset it or turn it back on or something. I don't know. Okay, so let's do this. So we got a lot of really easy content to go through. At least I think it's pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that I think we should really have too much to struggle about. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So, simply put, as we looked at before, sorry, let me get all my screens up and running so I can see everything. What's that? No one needs to see that. Okay, so as we were talking about like first day Monday on this, we were looking at what is sensation, what is perception, and sensation is just pulling in the world around us, allowing us to. Well, actually, here let's hold off. I think we've got a bit of a smaller crowd today. Do you guys want me to go over all the lecture material, or do you guys want or do you guys just want me to pick on some specific spots? Dude, thank you, Sam. Was that you that subscribed? Oh, no, I don't know who that is. I might. Abdu Rahman? Oh, Rahman! Sweet. Cool. Do you want me to go over all of it, or do we want to just like hit some of the major points? Because I'm all for just answering questions. All right. All right. Well, that was a vain attempt at me not going over all my lecture materials. Okay. All right, let's do this. So, here we go. Okay, so sensation. This is our ability. These are our senses working together to pull in information for us to sense and see the world around us. Sense. Use the word sense because it's talking about all 5 of our senses. Perception. This is, as it says, enabling us to recognize meaningful objects, interpreting sensory information. Our interpretation, like the way that we understand the world that happen and the things that come in. So it's also been known as the bottom up or the top down processing. Bottom up is that sensation. We work our way up from the top, and then the top down is the perception, is recognizing things. From the from our understanding, from our background, and working our way back. So then we are going to kind of break into just some like topics on this. Absolute and that difference threshold. Remember, we were talking about absolute threshold, the minimum stimulation needed to detect a particular stimulus. I don't know what this 3 methods to test. Oh, that should probably just be deleted. Sorry about that. I don't know what all that's all about. Okay. Yep. So, okay. So, I mean, simply put, guys, when we're looking at this is just our ability to sense things. Is and you always miss things important. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some I'll definitely. But that's gonna be literally at the very end. Yeah, I'll go over the stuff we missed. Okay. So, so so as I was saying before, absolute threshold is basically just seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling something that is just so faint. It is just the minimum amount of that sense or that stimulus in order for us to sense it. It's just telling us like just the smallest amount. So you're trying to smell something. Maybe Teddy farted in the other room, and I'm sitting in my room, and I like, wait a minute, do I smell something? Teddy fart? That smells like a Teddy fart. And then I smell it again. I'm just like, oh no, I'm not sure. And then you do it over and over again, and 50% of the time you can smell it, and 50% of the time you can't. And that's just telling us, hey, this is the minimum amount. Okay. So difference threshold, same thing as the absolute threshold, except for it's just talking about the difference between 2 things. So you're looking at 2 different. You're trying to compare 2 different flowers and recognizing the difference in the smell, or recognizing the difference in the color, and just that the smallest amount of difference between those 2 things. That's your just noticeable difference, or your difference threshold. Okay. Let me see. Trying to think if any of this is important. I'm just kind of looking at some of these example type things here. Like this, some of these are like examples of ways that you can kind of test this. Maybe I should do one of these things in class sometimes, but it would take kind of a while to do. Like this kitchen timer, maybe I could like put it out into the hallway and like walk away or something like that. So these are just like some ways that are some examples of it. If any of this confuses you or something, just send me a message and I'll cover it. But otherwise, we're just going to kind of move forward. So okay, next we've got Weber's law. As it says, to perceive as different, two stimuli must differ by a constant minimum percentage. So this is talking about that difference threshold. And then simply put, it's just telling us like, what a couple of those percentages are, what that looks like. And so just make sure that you recognize that Weber's law is referring to the difference threshold, and it's just a way of measuring what that actually looks like. What is that minimum percentage difference where you could recognize something. So yeah, cool. Okay. Sensory adaptation, as it says, diminished sensitivity as a consequence of constant stimulation. And we talked about how, like, what is the purpose of this? Well, you don't need to constantly feel the press of clothes on you, or the feel of, like, when you go into bed, you feel the blankets pressing against you at first, and then as kind of time goes, you don't feel it as much, or socks or shoes and stuff like that, because it would be super annoying to feel those things. So this little experiment is like two envelopes, one with two. We'll be able to tell the difference. I don't know. This might be a little bit out of place, because this is not. This is talking about. It's talking about like difference and absolute thresholds. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, some of this stuff's out of place. I'm sorry. Yeah, some of this is supposed to go up higher. Sensory adaptation is supposed to be like down in here. So yeah, I didn't notice that. Don't stress it. Those are examples for sensory adaptation. No, Lori. Yeah, good question. Yeah, we don't need to know the exact percentages. That's silly. That's not important. Okay. Selective attention, ability to focus on one thing. So right now, Teddy's in the background. You can't see him, but Teddy's in the background. He's got a tennis ball, and he's just kind of making noises, running around, and being a complete nuisance. But I'm focused on you guys. I'm focused on getting this content together. And so my attention, even though there's stuff going on around me, I am able to selectively attend to what you are doing. And so this kind of plays into the cocktail party effect, which is on your FRQ tomorrow. So does anyone have a question about this FRQ, about this term for the FRQ? I mean, as it's saying, so is the phenomenon of being able to focus on one auditory attention on a particular stimulus while filtering out a range of other stimuli. So fancy words for saying you're at a party, having a conversation with friends. There's conversations happening all around you, but you're still able to focus in on that conversation with your pal. Okay. And then what ends up happening is someone like says your name, or says something that is important to you, or something that is interesting to you, and you catch it and you turn your head and you're just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And so what that looks like, and what that's kind of telling you, is, hey, like, you're still recognizing the world around you. Like, there is some, like, yes, you're focused in, you're dialed in on this thing, but your brain is still processing information from the outside. You're still hearing things, and you're still seeing things. So, excuse me. So when you are later on, next week, when we were talking about like sleeping and dreaming, like, you're still conscious while you are asleep. Like, your body still senses the world around you. I mean, otherwise, how else are you going to wake up from your alarm clock? So, yep. Okay, real quick, I'm going to double check, make sure no one has any questions on this. Does recognizing a friend, someone you care about, or yourself from a photograph full of people quickly count as cocktail party effect, or is it strictly auditory? Let me think. No, because I think the phenomenon really is just talking about. Good question, Daniel. No, I believe it really is just talking about that auditory phenomenon. Yeah, it's just auditory. Yep. Yes, agreed, Lori. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, good. Okay, I'm going to pause for like 10 seconds. I want to make sure that no one has any questions about the cocktail party effect. I don't want this to be... I don't want anyone to be like, oh no, I didn't understand this and it was on the FRQ. I'm not gonna be like, I mean, Mahir, you just need to be able to explain it. Like the definition that I have here is a way of defining it. But you don't need to have this word for word. Like, if you understand what's going on, you can explain it just fine. Just do that. Just understand what's going on so you can explain it in layman's terms. You know, I get bored of reading this kind of crap too. I'd much rather read, someone just be like, hey, you're in a room talking to your friend, all the people around you, and you're still able to focus on your friend. Like, I'd much prefer to read that. So, good question, but yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, but I'm not going to go over grouping until I get to perception. I'll get there later. That'll be at the end. So, when I get to sensation for now, or perception. That's for now. I'm on sensation. Okay, moving forward. I don't really need to, make sure you are familiar with this. Mostly, you need to know the verbiage up here, where it's talking about, okay, what is a this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, if it's a short wavelength, where the frequency is really high, just know the different colors, the different pitch of sounds. Like, it's high pitch. If it's a long wavelength, then it's reddish color. It's low pitch sound, great amplitude, bright colors, loud sounds, all that. Yeah, know these things. Like, these little boxes, you need to be familiar with. So, that's just like technical stuff. So I'm not going to go over that. That's just the way it is. So, booyah. Okay. Hey, I've also, what is, do I have, so I don't have my computer, I don't have my school computer. So do I have the same, I don't think I have the FRQ on this. Yeah. Hey, someone post in the chat, please, the topics for the FRQ, so that I can like make sure not to skip them. Can someone do that for me, please? Okay. Parts of the eye. Just know these things. Adjustable opening in the center of the eye. This is the pupils. What's going to allow light into the eye, and then your iris is that muscle that goes around, that controls the size of the pupil, allowing it to shrink or to dilate, or I don't know what the other what to undilate. I don't know what that technical term is, but to kind of come back. Okay, so then you got the lens that, as it says, it's a transparent structure that is behind the pupil, and basically that is going to flex and change in order to reflect light back onto the retina. So that's what it's supposed to do. Retina, that's the part of on the back of the eyeball that is going to that has all the sensory receptors, the rods and the cones, and it's picking up information and sending that back to the occipital lobe of the brain. Okay. Kind of talks to you a little bit about the blind spot. What is happening there? Excuse me. We don't need to worry about blind sight. Okay, nearsighted. And Teddy, did you just drop that? You lost the ball into the couch again. I literally just got that for you. Yeah, how dumb do you feel right now? Super dumb. Okay. Ooh, let me go back. Sorry, I'm jumping between two things. Faiza, you just said cocktail party effect. Figure ground. Yes, I'll talk about those things. Are we just? Oh, huh. I'm like, you guys are like writing stuff down. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, right. These are the exact things I wanted you to put down. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, so Perfect. So what's the next one? Rods and cones will come up. Okay, cool. Okay, nearsightedness, farsightedness. Okay. Just remember that demographic of what was happening. People that are nearsighted, that perfect image is not hitting the retina until it's been like stretched out. And farsightedness is people's the perfect image is not hitting the retina until it's before it's perfectly formed. So it's all shrunk up and doesn't look right when it hits. So okay, rods. Oh man, I need to put this in. I don't know how I've not put this in there. But remember, rods are also really good at detecting movement. So I'm like, I have this on um, a PDF file, so I'm not changing this. But make sure with the rods you put in that they're good at picking up movement. I've got to change that. Peripheral of the retina, good at picking up movement. Black, white, and gray. They help. They're mostly used in dark light. Cones near the center of the retina, fine detail, color vision, daylight, and well lit conditions. This is also you use your cones when you're focusing in on something. So yes, yeah, great question, Akash. Yeah, that's the problem, is that your lens is not properly accommodating the light. It's a problem with the lens, and the lens isn't doing its job properly. Good question. Okay. Uh, Parallel processing, simultaneously processing several aspects of a problem simultaneously. So this really comes up a bunch when you are when we were talking about vision. And on the board it was like showing you that form and movement and color and stuff like that. Like that's how the brain processes our ability to see, and it's why robots are bad at soccer and stuff like that. So frequency, number of, we already kind of talked about frequency, number of wavelengths that pass a point in a given time, pitch, the tone's highness or lowness, audition, sense of hearing, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Make sure that you know the parts of the eye where they are and the parts of the ear and where they are. You'll have a few questions, probably a couple questions. You will have a couple questions for both of them. Each one will have, like I said, there will be two questions for each part of the eye or in the ear. Misba, we'll talk about figure ground here in a little bit. We'll get there. I'm just not there yet. So, make sure. Do you guys have questions about this? Like, it just kind of is, kind of what it is. Yeah. Okay. So be familiar with the process of what is happening when sound comes in. Basically, sound waves are going to travel. They're going to be reflected off your pinna. Here, it's going to direct the sounds into the auditory canal, and the auditory canal is going to bounce them around until they hit the eardrum. And this is the big process of transduction. Transduction is the process of one type of energy being turned into another type of energy. So that those sound waves, that's energy, and that is being turned into the vibrations. And so the eardrum's going to vibrate. That's going to travel through the bones of the middle ear. It's going to hit the cochlea. The cochlea is going to also vibrate, and then the liquid that's inside the cochlea is going to ripple. And then you have those sensory receptor cells, those little hair follicles that are going to pick that up and then send that information through the auditory nerve, and eventually to the temporal lobe. So, yep. All right. Make sure you know the difference between place and frequency theory. Don't get these messed up, guys. Like I know it's kind of like an awkward. It's kind of awkward, but let me check. Sorry, guys. Do we need to know the parts of the cochlea? Just the general ear, Lori. You don't need to know the parts of the cochlea. Is the oval ear part of the middle? The oval ear. The what? The oval ear. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, oval window? Is that what you're asking? Akash, are you talking about the oval window or the oval ear? I don't know what the oval ear is. If your teacher doesn't even know what that is. Oval window. Oh, okay. Sorry, Akash. I probably should have scrolled down. Well, look where it is. Oh, it's right in the middle. It's part of the, I believe it's part of the middle ear, but you don't need to worry about that. Yeah. Oh, it's a. I guess that's technically like the in between. Yeah, I won't ask you. Don't worry about that. There's your freebie. I will not ask you where the oval window is. So you're good. Sorry. Yeah, you're good, Akash. You're good. So, yeah, I'll talk about the theories here in a second. When we get water in our ear, where does it stay? I believe it doesn't get past the eardrum. Whoever Shiba Productions is, I don't know. Google it, because I don't know exactly what happens. To me, looking at this diagram, it looks like it's not going to get past the eardrum. Like it's just going to chill there. And I think that might be the problem. Is you have water that collects inside this space here, and if you don't get it out, because it's in that downward thing, it just like it goes bad or something, and I don't know. I've only gotten I only got like swimmer's ear once when I was a kid. That was terrible. That really hurt. Okay, so yeah, let's real quick talk about place and frequency theory. Okay, so once again, both of these things are referencing our ability to recognize pitch, like know the difference in pitch. What is high? What is low? And place theory, the theory that links the pitch we hear with the place where the cochlea membrane is stimulated. So once again, you have your little your cone thing or whatever, and what is your cone here, and what is happening is in this space right here, that's like really high pitched or something like that, and over here is for really low pitch. And so if a certain really low pitch comes in, the cochlea begins to vibrate, this part of that ear is going to vibrate. Okay, and that's gonna tell us the frequency theory, the theory that the rate of the nerve impulse traveling up the auditory mount matches the frequency of a tone, thus enabling us to sense pitch. So basically, what this is saying is that when we hear a sound, the entire cochlea vibrates, and the way in which the hair cells pick up that information, the way that they react to it tells us what the pitch is. So place theory, everything is place theory, it's in the specific location, geographical location, and for frequency theory, they're all activating, and it's just like the way in which they activate that tell us what's going on. So Brandon Shiba. Okay. Yeah, sorry Brandon. I don't know a lot of you guys' last name. I usually just go with first, so all right, I'm tracking. I'll probably forget next week, but that's okay. I believe Ion is generally the first person to dislike. Okay, Faizet, send me. Let me know if you are still have questions about the frequency theory. Let me know if you're still struggling with that. Thank you, Misbah. I'm also devastated that anyone would do that. Do we need to know the diagrams, Sarah? What diagrams are you talking about? Oh yes. Okay, cool. Thank you, Brandon, for answering that. Yeah, but the ear and eye locations. Okay, cool. You guys are the best. Thank you for helping me out. Good question, Sarah. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Faiza. You got 2 dislikes. I know. 3. Whew, I'm up to 3. Whew. They almost outrank my likes. See, this is what happens with popularity. You just got to deal with the bad press. It's pretty tragic. Pretty tragic. So, I know what the problem is. Okay, I've got you. I'm tracking with you guys. I'm reading the crowd. I know. Yeah, 3. This is pretty rough. 4. Yep. See. Okay. No, I hear you. I hear. I know what needs to happen. No, not my pretty face. Teddy, come here. Come on. Yeah. Oh no, you're right here. Yeah, come on. Teddy, come here. He's in the other room. Come here. All right. Come on. All right. There we go. Okay. I've tricked you into coming up. All right. Here's Teddy. Hello, Teddy. No, don't lick me. I know it's kind of dark in here, but got him. Oh, not the face. So yes, now you have seen Teddy. Hopefully this will I don't know, make you happy, I guess. And and yeah, this is also my shark blanket. It's a blanket that like eats you, and you just like put your legs in. And that's a shark. See, here's his eyeball. Rawr. It's pretty awesome. Yep, the GF got this one for me, so it's pretty cool. I like it. It's comfy. And you get to like put your legs in there, and then they have like at the bottom it's like 2 little fins, and so they're like little socks for my feet. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's get back to the thing. All right. So where's the other dog? Ah, oh my gosh, 15 likes for that. All right. I can see what's really appreciated here. Yeah, thank you, Misba. It's gonna be a while before I can sleep again. Neha, I never had another dog. It's the only dog I've got. Dude, right? Thanks, Hiba. Yes. I don't know what HMU means, Misba. I really don't. What an icon. Thank you, Arian. I know it is like a mermaid blanket, but it's manly. So yep. Oh, I think I was yeah. Sorry, no, I was I was dog sitting. Yeah, I was just dog sitting. So oh, I think she got it for me on Amazon. Ooh, I don't know. Y'all need to start Googling things. I don't know what I'm doing this for you. Shark blanket. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just type in shark blanket in type in shark blanket in Amazon and ignore all the children in the pictures. This is for men. Yeah. So all right. So my birthday has come and gone. So no, I am not going to put my girlfriend on the stream because she's not here. So so let's keep going. Done the frequency and place theory. So now, simply put, let's just like tackle some of these, the last stuff for, let's tackle the last stuff for, yes, Maggie, only the highest quality, content on my channel. Yes. So, Arian, I'm not really sure what's going on. There's lots of things that are jumping around. Yes, Justin Wynn, because I'd been hanging out with her and not on the stream with you guys. I'm just kidding. I like being on here, so I love spending my Thursday night hanging out with you guys and going over lecture material that I've already gone over this week. It's great. No, you guys are cool. I don't know how much of a question that wouldn't really be a fair question because I haven't told you what my girlfriend's name is. So, yep. Okay, I'm gonna eat a slice of pizza while you guys are distracted. And then yeah, same as. But the thing is, yeah, of course you thought I was single because I kept telling you I was. That's being like having a girlfriend and then like there's a persona that I'm here. Well, let me you need to see this. Like this is it's pretty important. So when you are on stage or teaching or doing something, my hair's all over the place. You have to come out with some sort of persona. Like you have to like, you know, and so the persona that I put in is relevant or not relevant, but is prevalent in like the first two slides where, you know, my second slide is a picture of me by myself, you know, after I'm saying like I like spending time with friends. My hair's just thrown up in the back, whatever. So yeah, so I kind of am going with that like nerdy, weird teacher who's trying really hard. But in all honesty, I have a really cool girlfriend. So, but yep, yeah, we can get back to psych. Yeah, we can. I just like talking about her, and I haven't told you guys yet, so you know. Amir, we got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. Thank you, Daniel. We don't have a whole test tomorrow. We have a quiz tomorrow. It's a quiz. Okay, so let's do this. Maggie's right. Let's back to work. Back to work. All right. So, conduction hearing loss, nerve hearing loss, conduction hearing loss, hearing loss because there's some sort of damage to some part of the ear, pinna, eardrum, any of that stuff. Okay, nerve hearing loss caused by the cochlear receptor cells, which are those nerve hair cells. They're going out, or to the auditory nerve that sends the information back. Okay, talking about sense of touch. Remember, we get pain, we get cold, or excuse me, temperature, and we get what's it called? Sense of pressure. Okay, looking at the gate control theory. Gate control theory is looking at pain, and it's just talking about how, like, you know, if you have pain, your brain can turn it off. Because if we're going back and we're talking about, you know, what is the function of pain, like what is the function of pain? It is to tell us that something is very, very wrong. So, yep. Okay, guys, we're moving forward. I'm not lying to anyone. I'm just, well, no, I guess I am, but it's, you know, yeah, it's a quiz, Daniel. Come on, guys. Sorry, Safa. I just started dating her recently. Maggie, it's not full enough. It's too brief. It's got the right stuff, but it'd be better if there was more. So we started dating like right after Christmas, like literally December 26th. So are you okay, Neha, or is Safa okay? That's what I'm really worried about. So yeah, like I said, we just started dating, so it's new. It's new. But for my birthday, even though she only got like 1 day's notice, she got me the shark blanket. So yeah, I think she's a keeper. So I like her. Okay, taste sensations. I'm not going to ask you a quiz question about the taste sensations because that's dumb. Sensory interaction. Okay, principle that one sense may influence another. Talked about this already. You know, just looking at, you know, your sense of taste is heavily influenced by your sense of smell. So if you can't smell, you generally don't taste things very well. All right. Okay. So Kinesthesis, vestibular sense. Oops, sorry. So remember, vestibular sense is going to be on your quiz. Well, it'll probably be on your quiz, but it'll be on your FRQ. Okay. So kinesthesis, individual body parts, making sure you recognize where those are. Vestibular sense of body movement and position, and your sense of balance. Remember, your sense of balance is taken care of in your ear. So a great example for like the quiz tomorrow or the FRQ tomorrow is just be like, okay, vestibular sense. It helps with this body's sense of movement and position. Also helps with our sense of balance. People who get like major ear infections are often oh, and then you'd want to include like, hey, it is located in your ear or inside your cochlea or whatever. It's the fluid inside your cochlea that does it. And then you could say, okay, an example of this would be people who get ear infections are often have difficulty with dizziness or vertigo and stuff like that because there's damage to that area. So you can use that. Excuse me, sorry. You can use that as an example for vestibular sense. Okay, before we move on to perception, does anyone have any questions about not only the vestibular sense but rods and cones? Because I briefly went over that, and I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on. It works for both, Akash. I know I talked about it under kinesthesis, and I probably jumped the gun a little bit because it's body position and movement. So yes, it ended up being both. Like I should have talked about it afterwards, like just for the after I talked about kinesthesis and vestibular sense. But it affected both his vestibular and his kinesthesis, and I don't think I made that very clear. I just really like telling that story, so I think I kind of just jumped the gun on it. So both of them are affected. You can definitely use Ian Waterman's example for your example, but I think it's a little bit long, so I probably wouldn't do it. So yeah. Faiza, why are you shouting loudly Safa in the or exclamation point Safa in the chat? Okay. Lori, I would say your major difference is going to be the fact that kinesthesis is big time with the individual body parts. That's its main that's its main function, is to recognize where the position of those body parts are. And then for vestibular sense, it's that sense of balance. So that's the major differentiation that you're looking for. Okay. Yeah. So good question, Jesse. I would probably, when you're looking for an example of rods and cones, just give an example of someone seeing something. Like, okay, like I'm looking at a picture, and the colors of the picture are recognized by my cones, and the fine detail is recognized by my cones. And then suddenly, my friend moves in from out of the corner of my eye, which my rods pick up, and I'm allowed to see that they've moved in there. And so I swing over and look in their direction, or something like that. Just give like a little story about like what about how they're used. You can do anything. So Jesse Hibba, does that answer your question? I know that was brief, but like you can just find a way to make it light and quick, and try to keep it down to the rods and cones one is probably going to be more than just 1 to 2 sentences because you have to explain both of them. So you might end up, trying to find a way to cut that down just a little bit, just because it's going to be a lot of writing. Uh-oh, Teddy's trying to get on the couch. He's just moving up slowly. So I don't know. Teddy, you're not allowed on the couch. Oh, poor guy. Okay. Okay, Akash, did that answer your question? Lori, did that answer your question? Hiba and Jesse, are your questions answered? Kinesthesis. Nope. 7:30 today. Okay. Yes. Yes, Abby. Hello, Abby. Yes, I'm a tricky guy. What am I saying? I don't understand what's going on. Anyways, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what you're, or Faiza, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're saying this. The way you pronounced her name was funny. Safa? What did I do wrong? I don't know. Anyways, okay, cool. So, are we all? Give me some thumbs up. Are we good to move on to perception? Oh, yes, we are. We're. Whoa, what happened? What's taking so long? Okay, we're gonna blaze through this. This stuff's easy. Okay, perceptual set refers to the tendency to perceive objects or situations from a particular frame of reference. So this is that illustration when you were looking at the stuff vertically, it was ABC. When you're looking at it horizontally, is 12, 13, 14. It just depends on the situation, on where what your background is, and how you're where you are and how you're perceiving it is going to affect the way that objects or situations or stimulus is going to affect you. Okay, context effects. We talked about this. You're better at recalling information from a particular context or location. If you first learned it from that same place, this is that same with the mental set. It's basically the same concept. Okay, change blindness, failure to notice what's there right now and what was there a moment ago. So someone gets a haircut or something, and you miss it, and you don't know, or someone puts on a bandana and you didn't notice them doing it, or you're in the middle of a conversation and someone changes shirt somehow without you seeing it. That's change blindness. Okay, all that stuff that we talked about, and then intentional blindness. And I think this is more. I think this is a more prevalent thing that happens in our world. Is just there's stuff all around you, and then you're just like, whoa, I've been in this in this classroom for 6 months. I had no idea that it had blank. So it happens to us all the time. So um, oh, gotcha. Well, wait, so is the cocktail party effect like the exception to change blindness? Um, I don't know if I'd say exception. Yeah. Okay. You got it. Good, Akash. Okay. So, Gestalt psychologist emphasizing this idea that we want to break down the world into meaningful wholes. We want the world to make more sense. So we compile things together. This goes back to when we were talking about the cognition and learning unit, where it's like, hey, like we have concepts and prototypes. These concepts are all these things that you can combine together because it would just make more sense. And so um, our brain just does this. This is part of what we do. We have lots of different ways that this happens. So you've got the figure ground organization of the visual fields into objects, the figures that stand out from their surroundings, the background, which is the ground, figure and ground. Do I, the pictures above, like I said, was talking about, those were the pictures with the vase and the two faces, and then the guy playing the saxophone, and the other thing. So make sure you know figure and ground. Do you guys have any questions about that? I think that's on your FRQ today, right? No, I will not. I will not be visiting your channel. Is context effects and state-dependent memory the same thing? No, Amir, no. They affect one another, but they're not the same thing. State-dependent memory is talking more about your emotional state, like how you emotionally feel, and context effects is talking more about geographical location. So no, not really. I mean, they're close, but no. Okay, I'm gonna move forward. All right, grouping. Okay, so Ion, you asked a question about this a little bit ago. So the perceptual tendency to organize stimuli into coherent groups. That's all it's doing right there. It is our brain, its tendency. It does this quite often. It does this as much as it can to take different things that we sense, things that we see, things that we hear, things that we smell, whatever, and put them together into groups to better organize them. Okay, so we see proximity, we see similarity, continuity, closure, fixedness, all of that stuff. So we do all of this simply because it makes our perception or our viewing of the world easier to understand. And these are just some ways in which we do that. You do want to be familiar with these different ones, as they I'm sure they'll show up on the quiz or the test or whatever. So would a figure and ground example be like the vase face obstacle illusion? Yes, Maggie. That is exactly what figure and ground, because as it says, like it's difficult to see both of them at the same time. Okay, so okay, cool. Are we good with this? Easy peasy. Okay, depth perception. Yep, binocular cues. Yep, being able to see with two eyes. When it's talking about retinal disparity, you're looking at the difference in the distances. Do I not have it up here? The brain computes the distance. Yeah, the greater the difference between the images, the closer the object. And so this is looking at specifically retinal disparity. Why is that not written up there? Retinal disparity needs to be written up there. Right here. It needs to be set right here. Yep. Comparing your images from the retinas. Yep. Cool. Okay. So monocular cues, remember, you are responsible for talking about at least one of these in your FRQ. Just make sure that you know them. You just don't get any of them confused. Is there something in grouping for patterns? Um, yeah, I'm not sure, Akash. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there are aspects of it that are, but I don't know like the specific one. There's lots of different types of patterns, so I don't know. Is depth perception an aspect of Gestalt psychology? No. Good question, Lori, but no, it's not. It's not an aspect of it. I mean, I'm sure they talk about it. It's something that they recognize, but it's not. It's not. We didn't. Yeah, it's not an aspect of it. Okay. Do I need to go over? Look, real quick. Do I need to go over any of these? These were. I'm going to skip this unless you have a specific question about any of these monocular cues. Let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to expect that you know what these mean. So I'm going to move forward. Okay, so let's talk about these things because I haven't talked about these in a lot of my classes. So, okay, 5 phenomenon: visual capture, perceptual constancy, and perceptual adaptation. I never asked you guys to know this for your quiz, but you will probably need to know it for your test. Okay, so first, the 5 phenomenon. I got to show this to 3rd period. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. Um, Okay, so when boop, 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 boop. Okay, so phi phenomenon is looking at often is looking at light and animation, and it's asking, okay, for an artist, if someone was, do you guys see this? Uh, yeah, okay. So when you are looking at this animation, this is, this is a video game that's called Cuphead or whatever. I've never played it before, but I hear it's cool. So what is going on is all of this movement, all of these things these guys are doing. The question a is this something that they are drawing every single frame? Like, do they have to draw this 150 times in order to get us to do it? So, like, as these dragons are like opening their mouths and breathing out that fire, or whatever, do they have to draw every single one of those frames? And the answer is no, because our brain picks up movement consistent flashing lights as movement. So our brain is basically tricking us into thinking that these things are moving. They're not. They're just kind of like blurring little lights in front of you, and it's showing up as movement. It's not. So I will stop that presentation. Okay, so I will. So what's really happening is there's like these subsequent flashing lights, or the image, like different images are being played forward. So let's just say that I am getting slugged in the face, right, in this animation, and someone was drawing this happening. So what would happen is the person would draw, you guys can see this, you can see the fist would be here, and then they would draw again the fist like closer, and then the contact, and then the aftermath. And that would be it. That's all they would need to draw, because they play it for you really quickly, and it just looks, our brain basically fills in the holes and makes it look like a person is actually getting hit. And so that's the phi phenomenon, is that our brain is tricking us into thinking that there is actual movement when there is not. So, okay. Next, visual capture. Okay. The tendency for vision to dominate other senses. Okay. So let me, this is up to you. If you want to go search this up, this is great. But look up the, McGurk. I need to make sure. Look up the McGurk effect. McGurk. Yeah, McGurk effect. Okay. Look up the McGurk effect. Oh, I'm posting it here. So look that up, and what you'll see, you can't hear this. Okay, so the video looks like. Anyways, type that into YouTube. It's the first video that pops up, and it talks about this, the way in which our eyes dominate our other senses. Okay, so we rely on vision more than anything else, and that's all visual capture is saying. And so there's several examples. I did this with my third period class with like a brush and a fake arm, and we just won't have time to look at it in my other classes. So sorry, but visual capture is just like, hey, like we rely so much on our sense of sight that sometimes our sense of sight dominates over other senses and like takes over. So go watch the McGurk effect once this stream is done. It's 5 minutes long. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. You just need to. You can cut out the last like little bit, but it's really. Oh no, it's 3 minutes long. Watch the whole thing. It's 3 minutes long. It's great, and it's really like weird and dorky, and like it's crazy. Okay. Um. Do. I don't know who this person is. Uh, I will not remember you. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I'm dealing with something. Okay, so okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So finally, we have perceptual constancy. And let me grab my dog's tennis ball so that we can talk about perceptual constancy, because this is important. He has lost it under the... this isn't a great one because Teddy slobbered all over this, but it'll do. Okay, so perceptual constancy, perceiving objects as unchanging, having constant shape, size, brightness, and color, even as illumination of retinal images changes. Okay, so let's take a look at this nasty tennis ball. Okay, so perceptual constancy is saying that we are so used to what this tennis ball is supposed to look like. And Teddy's like sitting off in the corner, patiently waiting for me to throw this. We are so used to what this tennis ball looks like. Even though it is like dark and it's been slobbered on, you still see this as a pretty like bright green. But it's not that bright. It's actually pretty faded. The lighting above is not great, and so you're not getting enough in, like, you're not seeing enough of this to really see how, like, how do I want to say this? This should look darker to you, but it's not, because we are so used to seeing it this bright. It's the same with something like an orange. Even if you hold up an orange, I'm going to throw this Teddy's drug. Like so not understanding. Okay, so because we are so used to seeing this thing in this way, when we see it in something that is not the same, like in a darker space, we still see it as, like, it might not be perfectly like bright green or whatever, but it's brighter than it normally would, because we are so used to it. So just keep that in mind. That's what perceptual constancy is talking about. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. We're done. We got through all the stuff. Do you guys have any questions? We got through everything. I know that took a little bit longer than usual, but this is a long-ish chapter. It's got lots of moving parts. Oh my gosh, I so enjoy kicking people off this. Dude, that guy had like a zillion messages. I hope I never actually have him in my class. Have this person in my class. I'll be like super annoyed with them from the start. All right, what do you guys got? Questions? No. No. That's the problem is that's what the goggles are for. But we won't do that. Brandon, you asked me again about your channel, and you're gonna get the same treatment as that other doofus that was talking. So, what's up, Teddy? You give me the ball. Ball. All right. What do we need? Any last questions? Any last words before I sign off? Call it a night. Yeah. Yeah, Mizba, you can talk about the light and dark face. I don't care. So long as you talk about it properly, as an example, you can use that. That's fine. Yeah, remember, Rodis, gate control theory is just this idea that your brain is in charge of pain. And so if something is important to you, you can turn off your sense of pain. Like whatever that pain is, if something's important to you, you can turn it off so that you can get whatever that thing is done. So pain can be controlled. That's the gate control theory. And so it's talking about like literal gates in your spinal cord as that information tries to go up, but you can like close it down so you don't feel it. Yeah, Akash. Yeah, there's a whole video on it where basically, yeah, people live in an inverted world where the world literally is like flipped upside down, um, and after a while they get used to it. So, yep, it's pretty cool. Um, you just get used to it. I don't know if I'd say you see everything normally. You just get used to it. Yes, yes, you need everything from the beginning of sensation. Sure, sure. You could use Ian Waterman. That's fine. Teddy, drop it. That would be great. That'd be a great example. Ms. Boo, what are you talking about? The frequency theory where it says where it's activated. Not too far. Theory that the rate of the nerve impulse traveling up the auditory matches the, thus enabling. Are you talking about place theory? That's place theory, Misbah. Place theory is talking about where the cochlea is membrane. So that's place theory. Depends on where it's activated. Yeah, that's very specifically place theory. Yep. Okay. All right. Final things. Any last questions? Don't forget about your don't forget about the what's it called? FRQ tomorrow. That is a lot of carbs, bruh. That is a lot of carbs. I'm not as young as I used to be. So, yep. Bye. Bye, Neha. And the crew that you are with. Yes. I know, Safa. I know. Miss you guys too. All right, no problem, guys. Okay, well, we will catch you tomorrow. Good luck studying for your quiz. And if you have any questions, it's too late. I can't help you anymore. We need to study the location and function. Yes, yes, Misbah. Yes. You have a great night. Thanks again for hopping on the stream. Hope you guys had a good time, and we will see you tomorrow.